I don't usually do these videos because it just stirs up a lot of controversy, but I really don't think you can stir up any more controversy than what there already is in this country. Let's face it, we have no leadership. The country has pretty much become a joke. And this is a long video, so if you have sensitive feelings, then you really don't need to be watching this video because it's going to hurt your feelings. And I really don't care. This country was founded on we the people. And I think a lot of Americans have forgotten what that means. What is we the people? What is the government of the United States? We the people are the government of the United States. And every true American needs to stop and think about that, regardless of your color, your origin, your sex, what you think about this country. You really need to stop and think about that for a minute. I'm not going to address anybody in this country as African American, European American, Asian American, Japanese American, whatever. If you came to this country legally, then you're an American. Period. End of story. If not, then you're an illegal. And that's just the long and short of it. If you like it, then you do. If you don't, you don't. I don't care. But our forefathers wrote that this country was created for the people, by the people. And that's us. That's every free American that you have today. And our freedoms are disappearing. Because in this country, currently, we have 340 million Americans. And that's a very strong government if we all were on the same page, which we are obviously not. But the problem is we are being led by a traditional government that is made up of about 2,000 members. So you have 2,000 members telling 340 million Americans what they can say, what they can't say, where they can go, where they can't go, what they have to do, what they can't do. And if you don't believe that's true, take a look at your state and federal governments. They are being told that you have to order your supplies and the things that you need from female and minority-based companies first. They get first consideration. You can't just order from Walmart, Amazon, whatever. You have to justify being able to do that. You have to order from your female and minority-based companies and then your veteran-owned companies. You can't just order from whoever you want to order from. That is no longer your choice. You're being told in state and federal governments when you address people how you must use proper pronouns to address them. I will not do that. I will not use proper pronouns to address someone. That is unconstitutional. You're being told what bathroom you can and cannot use. You're being told what flag you can and cannot fly. A drunk man stole a gay flag from a church, got arrested for burning it in front of a strip club. It was a hate crime and he got 15 years. Yet there is no laws in place to protect the United States flag that our men and women died under. To give these people the right to burn that flag. And I've tried since 2018 to get a Flag Protection Act. And it's fell on deaf ears. Because nobody cares. Because your voice in this country doesn't matter unless you're a PC group. And that's what they're labeled. Your Hispanics, your blacks, your LGBTQ, they're all labeled PC groups if you look under community standards on social media. Because why? That's where the votes are. And that's all they care about. That's all your politicians care about, is the votes. I have contacted the Supreme Court. I have contacted the Judiciary Committee. I have contacted the congressmen, the governors, the senators, the FCC. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear it. Because everybody's afraid of being labeled a bigot, a racist, or a bad guy. Well, you know, sometimes the truth hurts and sometimes you have to be the bad guy. It's not always sunshine and rainbows. It's not always fun. We have an idiot running this country. And that is just honestly how it is. And the biggest hate groups you have in this country right now is your Democrats, your Black Lives Matter, and your LGBTQ. That is your biggest hate groups that you have right now. And everybody wants to overlook it. You know, I personally worked for a Virginia company and the federal government to where we were told we had to go through drug tests to get the job, background checks, which included criminal and financial checks. And every so often, 3 to 5 years, we had to go through checks. And one day HR asked us if we knew any minorities that could apply. And we did, but they couldn't pass the background check. We were told not to worry about that. So why do we have to play by the rules, but they don't? Can anyone answer that? Is that not discrimination? You have things like all black TV. Is that not discrimination? You have all Black History Month. Is that not discrimination? You have Cinco de Mayo. Is that not discrimination? You know, you have all black schools, all black holidays. You have statues erected to criminals. George Floyd specifically, because he was no hero. He was no martyr. You know who George Floyd was? He committed 6 burglaries, 3 car thefts, multiple illegal trespass, cocaine and alcohol addiction, 2 violent home invasions, 3 armed robberies. He was busted dealing fentanyl, methamphetamine. He beat 3 of his victims totally unconscious. He was arrested 23 times since 1998. Did he deserve to die? No, he didn't deserve to die. But does he deserve to be honored as a hero? No, he doesn't. And with Facebook, this is what you get if you can see it. That is a picture of a totally nude man from behind that any of your child, your grandchildren can see. Totally fine on Facebook. Here is one of a 50-some-year-old man sitting at a pool with his hands down his pants and children in the background. That could be your child in the background. Yet when you report it to Facebook, here's what you get. We've taken a look and found that the content doesn't go against our community standards. So what standards do they operate by? What standards do they go by? The Second Amendment, you might as well throw it away. It's being degraded and taken away day by day by day. And I've received letters from Tim Kaine. I've received letters from Senator Lindsey Graham. And in both letters,